customers to buy more cards. This day was earned the hard way through sacrifices made by your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends. You know, going all the way back through elementary school in the late 50s and early 60s there, I remember about our particular drills whenever there was a concern. We didn't have shelter in places. We didn't have lockdowns. No, we had to prepare for atomic bombs. And in our drills, they asked us to actually crawl under our desks, kneel down, cover our heads with our hands, as if that was going to keep an atomic bomb or damaged steel structure from bringing harm to you. And we would have to sit there for at least 5 minutes until principals like Mr. Majewski would come around and check us off for being in compliance during what we referred to commonly as our turtle shell drills. Talk about a waste of time. But there is a reason why we do not do those turtle shell drills anymore. First, nobody should be forced to assume that position of a turtle for 5 minutes or more. Second, our men and women fought by air, land, and sea. They made our areas a safer place. In my case, it was earned and paid forward by my father, who was in the Army and fought in the Korean War, and my older brother, Mike, who was in the Marines, which, by the way, I understand they are celebrating their 242nd birthday today. So congratulations, Marines. As they came out of the war, they understood that really education was not important at that time. They could get a job on an assembly line without very much competition for the job. It's a little bit different today. Your competition to get jobs and your competition to get into college is quite steep at this point in time. Neither my brother or my father finished high school because, quite frankly, it did not matter at that time. You could drop out of school or return from the military, hop on a car assembly line, and get a job without much of an interview. I'll come back to them in a little bit. If you've ever attended a Clear Creek ISD graduation ceremony at any of our high schools, you will notice there is one moment during introductions that we ask all students who have enlisted in the military to please stand. And generally speaking, there is a huge ovation for them from our 10,000 visitors, because they understand that the sacrifices are going to be made. Then we usually turn to our 10,000 parents and guests in the stands, and we ask them to stand and let us show our appreciation for those who are currently in the military or served in the military. And there is another huge, loud applause for them, because people in Clear Creek ISD get it. They get it. They get the sacrifices that took place. Being a veteran is like occupying an office that is actually higher than the President of the United States. But perhaps you've been to a graduation ceremony and you know why this occurs, but perhaps not. I, for one, have always been thankful for the many sacrifices that have been made for me as well as you. Now, let me go back to my father and my brother. I've always felt like their sacrifices paved the way for me to be an outstanding, or at least an effective teacher, an effective high school principal, and hopefully the opportunity to serve the community as superintendent. I hope and pray that I am living proof that legacies are left behind in the lives of people, not in just stone and steel. Take Coach Darrell Warden, for example. He's won a bunch of district championships, but it is not the trophy cases that will determine his legacy after he retires this year, but the relationships and the boys who became men under his tutelage. Thank you, Coach Warden. You know, in closing, 2 years ago, my father did pass away at the age of 90. So my conversations with him are through prayer now, always thanking him for the many opportunities he provided me. Oftentimes, as a remembrance of him, I carry one of the empty shells that were used from his 21-gun salute at his funeral service. The shell may be empty, but his legacy is full and lives through me and my 7 brothers and sisters. As we move toward, or at least through Veterans Day and every day, I challenge you to give thanks and praise for those that have fought for our freedom. It is not free. This is not a Hallmark card day. It is special for so many reasons, including the fact that you no longer have to do turtle drills for atomic bomb protection. Do not take for granted the very things that most deserve our gratitude, and that's the men and women that have fought for our country. So I ask you today, and I challenge you, what will your legacy be? I know mine. Will it be cast in stone and steel, or will it be in fruitful relationships with veterans and great leaders like Sergeant Smathers and Coach Warden? Thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you.
Our Clear Creek High School Choir will now perform all of our branches of